Well, again, everyone, I hope you're doing all very, very well out there, and welcome to a brand new RavensFilm channel update. And hopefully things go very well this time, because I tried this earlier, and I had some mucus up in my throat, and things weren't going off very well, so I gargled some warm salt water, which was kind of a yuck experience, and I have some mucus relief tablets I took, so let's hopefully see where this goes well and stuff like that. But a lot of stuff's come up on the channel lately. A lot of things are coming up soon. A lot of things kind of working off in the long distance future, and some things didn't quite go as they planned in the recent past or whatnot. So let's get up and talk about how the fact we put out a commentary for John Carpenter Presents Body Bags, the 1993 horror anthology film that he was involved with. He partly directed with Tobe Hooper and produced it and stuff like that. And I think me and Steve had a really fun time kind of breaking this whole thing down, going through anthology, a collection of short little stories put together with a nice wraparound segment, stuff like that. I thought it was a very refreshing experience and getting into that whole thing, and hasn't quite gotten great traction as of yet. I mean, it's not a terribly well-known title to get off on that, but it still has a John Carpenter name, which might pull some people in. If you have Peacock, it is up on that service to watch. So if you're in the U.S., you have that. Definitely important to go kind of sync that up with our commentary and go through the entire thing and see what we feel about it and how you feel about it in that type of way. Because, you know, if you guys kind of like that sort of format, that type of film, and for us to kind of tackle that type of thing again, you might have some more higher profile horror anthology stuff in mind to do later on down the road. So let us know how you feel about that. Plus, Steve had a little bit of like throwing it out there about a certain John Carpenter film that not typically won over by, but he's kind of like throwing it out there. If you want him to kind of revisit to see if he can work something out for like a commentary or something else like that later on down the line, go ahead and let us know about that whole thing. So definitely check the commentary out and enjoy that. And the other thing was that I dropped a new Forever Horror movie review, which is something I haven't done since last October. And just the thing is like, okay, I just hadn't got back around to horror stuff and stuff like that. And there's a whole thing in I was originally getting up to doing that retro video series thing, covering the color grading changes on Heat. And it just got really just difficult. Difficult to the point where it's like I was halfway through editing it and realizing this thing is not engaging. It's a long, lethargic type of talk about technical details. I was like, I wasn't grabbing hold of like the potential of this idea to make an engaging video. If I'm bored with it, I figure you guys would be bored watching the thing. So it's like, this thing is not working for me. It's bogged down in too many real details. I shot the thing twice, trying to rejigger it and trying to figure it out. So it's like, it still didn't work. It just wasn't, I can't quite get the handle on this whole idea here. So I kind of brushed it aside, figure this is not working right now. I need to step away from it for a long period of time and come back at a later point and kind of figure out how to approach it in a more succinct, more to the point type of way to really kind of address the ideas and stuff like that. So it's taking some time. I tried doing a similar video a couple years ago about David Fincher's Seven, going against the Laserdisc and the DVD and Blu-ray, where they constantly are changing and evolving how the film looks. So it's like, which way is it supposed to go, and trying to figure out an exact point to the entire discussion there. So it's a work in progress on this topic. So I'm going to have to figure this out in a much more specific way going forward. So I decided to kind of switch over to the covering something else. I got kind of peaked about revisiting whatnot. It was up on Netflix, the 2011 film of The Thing, the prequel film to the John Carpenter original, John Carpenter remake, if you want to get particular about it. But it was the entire thing. It's like, oh, it's kind of looking around and kind of like, no, had seen it since the theater. I didn't have the worst reaction to the entire film at the time, but I was like, maybe I deserve kind of looking at this again, because again, if you watched a little bit of the video, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is someone I is very high on my list of very phenomenally talented people that I want to expose myself more to in terms of her work and stuff like that. So felt it was worthwhile to do the whole thing. Of course, grabbing the Blu-ray was the interesting thing, because I was hoping to maybe get the Mill Creek one, because oddly enough, Mill Creek usually not the best encodes and stuff like that. But apparently the encode they did for this one, which maintained all the bonus features, is slightly better than the Universal one with some higher bit rates in some places And plus, the recent Steelbook release, which was a Walmart exclusive, was very enticing, but the fact is you can barely find it anywhere at all. It's like it's completely gone. It only was released a couple months ago. So it was kind of a weird thing. It's like it's great packaging, and had two maybe inconsequential new bonus features. It's like, apparently it's like just like someone doing a voiceover narration over behind the scenes footage and the footage from the film, talking about the production, stuff like that. So it might not have been anything of anything, but it's like I was outside chance of maybe grabbing that if I could have found it, but none of the stores anywhere I could even look up a zip code for had a copy of it anywhere at all. So I eventually found this at Half Price Books, which they had two versions. This version with a slipcover and one that didn't have a slipcover and didn't have the DVD copy in it. So looked out, and plus the digital copy was still valid. I was still able to redeem this on Movies Anywhere back when this thing was just like ultraviolet or whatever the hell it was at the time. I mean, wherever the case is, I don't know if they even listed it, just as digital copy on it, but I was able to redeem it after many, many years of it probably typically being defunct or whatnot. But backside the slipcover is much nicer than the actual back of the interior cover or whatnot. So I grabbed that one, and they were both the same price. So I was like, why not? Why not? So that was kind of a nice type of thing. I as I say in the video, I went through a lot of exhaustive research to find some old blog posts and various interviews and various pieces of information all over the place from Studio ADI and the director and stuff like that. All the fallout from after the film was released, where people kind of talk more freely about it after there's a lot more backlash from it. So interesting things in that regard. And stuff coming up soon is kind of an interesting thing. It's kind of tangential to that one, because the video is performing very well in terms of grabbing a lot of views and people watching it, but here and there and everywhere, not all the stats are great, but most of them are kind of creeping up in some places here. But I mentioned in that thing the odd TV version of the 1982 film, and I haven't watched that version yet, but I know there's a lot of weird type of things involved with it. I figured after I did the Halloween and Halloween 2 TV cut video, the retro video series episode on it, I figure this would be kind of an interesting thing to kind of get up on soon enough. So that might be the next big thing I cover. But next week, an interesting type of thing is the fact that the Babylon 5 animated movie, The Road Home, is hitting physical media. And so I kind of re-upped on Prime. I got a $1.99 trial. So I ordered that. I should have it on the release date on Tuesday for me on my next day off, which is Wednesday, to potentially do a video on it. So hopefully I get it Tuesday. I can watch it that night when I get home from work and start going over the whole thing and kind of engaging with it, because there's also a commentary track on it, a short featurette, and some other things here and there. So a couple things to get into, but I want to at least get through the cycle of it as soon as I can to produce a video, because I've always wanted to kind of talk about Babylon 5 to some degree, but I don't really have I'm not going to do like an episode by episode type of thing, because that would just be the entire channel for like the next God knows however long. People have asked me about, oh, cover this TV series or cover that TV series. Like, it's a really exhaustive type of thing to go through, watch every single episode and make notes on everything and rip all the footage and get all this research done. That's enough for like one 2-hour movie or something else like that. To do it for an array of like 20 plus 40-minute episodes is just a very exhaustive type of thing. So kind of an interesting thing. I can at least talk about Babylon 5 to some wider degree or whatnot as an ancillary type of thing to this animated movie or whatnot. So I feel that's something I really want to do. It at least gets me in the door to talk about that a little bit ahead of when the Blu-ray of the complete series hits in December. So I still have my DVDs at this point in time, but I probably will maybe get rid of them to kind of offset the cost or whatnot. But I might just do that as maybe a Christmas list type of thing and whatnot, to get that on Christmas Day if someone's very much generous in that regard. It's going for about $100 or whatnot on most sites right now, but just really want to get up on that, because there's another thing I was contemplating maybe doing a video on last night, because I did go see The Last Voyage of the Demeter, a horror film that takes this one chapter, adapts it from Bram Stoker's novel Dracula, and sadly, the thing is not performing very well out the gate. The Thursday night previews did not get a lot of money, didn't even break $1 million. A lot of the general critical consensus doesn't seem very strong. I've been seeing a lot of things where there's certain criticism about the thing they feel is plotting. It's not very well paced or something else like that. I liked the goddamn film. I liked it a lot. One, the cast is phenomenal in this film. Just the acting quality really is so just magnificent. Magnificent cast on this film. There are points in time with this film. Mind you, this is a horror film that's supposed to mainly elicit terror and fear. There's emotional moments in this film that really just got me enveloped in the plight of the characters, and when bad things really befell them, I was really feeling it so much from the performances so much. But the direction of this whole thing is great. The production design, awesome. The cinematography is done by Clint Eastwood's regular cinematographer like the last 21 years. And it looks marvelous. Marvelous looking film. The score from Bear McCreary, I love Bear McCreary all the way back to when he was doing Human Target on Fox. Great score. Great score. It's really fantastic. I thought it was really good. I think it's a really good thing. I'm seeing stuff on feeds and whatnot. Stephen King liked it. Guillermo del Toro, mind you, does have a special thanks credit on the film. But rarely have you ever seen Guillermo del Toro not be genuine with his passion and his love for film and stuff like that. So if he was involved with this a little bit and really just felt very strongly about it, I definitely buy into that. I definitely buy that he's very genuine about his praise for the entire film. And I thought it was really good. There might be some things here. I think I'll enjoy it more on the second watch more as a whole. My mind was a little kind of going back and forth in and out of things. Not a fault of the film, more of a fault of myself. I was a little here and there about certain things in my head or whatnot on the day or whatnot. I was not having a very good day. But I didn't sleep very well and stuff like that. But the fact that the film, I could still grasp so many great qualities of the film, how well the characters are put together in the entire film, how much dimension they're given, how much detail they're given through the performances, through the writing, all that type of stuff. I thought it was a really well-drawn, old-school, slow-burn horror film. Granted, apparently Javier Bardem, I believe that's the way it's pronounced, who portrays Dracula inside this entire bat creature whatnot, did do a lot of makeup on it, but there is definitely some CGI involved with the creature. But they do a lot of stuff like Ridley Scott's Alien, which was a main influence on the film, trying to hide as many shadows as possible, just kind of few shafts of light here and there. When they do that, it is very effective type of stuff. There's a few pieces of digital stuff that maybe here and there or whatnot, but they're fleeting moments. I thought the film just really worked well. Sure, things with the ending, you're kind of like here and there about, I'm not going to spoil anything, but certainly I was expecting certain things with the ending, knowing what happens with the entire story. I, of course, seen the Coppola film so many times. I know generally what the story is supposed to be, so there's some minor liberties taken here and there just to create its own self-contained story to such a degree, but I thought it was really well done. I think I'll settle into certain other aspects more on a rewatch. I don't mind going back to the theater watching this again if I have the time for it, which I really don't have much time for it right now, but it is something that's in my mind. Like I would definitely go back and see this again in the theater. So I definitely give this thing a very strong recommendation. So if you're interested in it, I definitely say go check it out. Give it its time of day. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, maybe it's just not your flavor or whatnot. That's certainly a thing. If you don't quite get into the slow burn, sort of more meticulous, sort of deliberate pacing in the entire film, it's not really modern and whatnot, but the fact is, I thought it was really good. I mean, I think it was Stephen King saying this is like almost like a throwback to old Hammer horror films. I haven't indulged in Hammer stuff, but I could definitely see that quality, a little bit gothic stuff, very much great practicality in the sets, the production design. It just feels like a really living, breathing world that they're inhabiting on this ship. It's really well done. I really appreciate it so much. So definitely a recommendation for me. Go check that out. But I felt like I couldn't really squeeze a proper video in last night, considering I'm working like the next 5 days or whatnot. So it's like anything like that. So I at least want to get that out to you guys. I post it all over social media because I'm up on Threads, and Blue Sky, which I don't have a lot of stuff going on there just yet because, most of the people I'd interact with aren't quite up on those platforms at this point in time. But I'm there. I'm there. I'm just there. So if you're there, go find me. I'm at RavensFilm. Easy to find me anywhere. So stuff like that. So I'm up on everywhere there is, except for Mastodon. I didn't get up on that one. But anyway, stuff like that. And speaking of, not having a lot of time because there's certain other things I'm doing on my days off, including next Saturday, I'm going to another concert. And this is going to be great because I'm seeing The Warning, who's one of the best rock bands, best heavy bands going out right now. Trio of sisters from Mexico, from Monterrey, Mexico. Danny, Ali, and Pau. They've been together, playing together in this band for like a decade plus. Since they're barely able to pick up a guitar or anything like that, just like amazing, fantastic band. Talent out of every pore or whatnot, just like they're incredibly great. The latest album, Error, which is what they're touring off of now, just sonically insane. Great type of stuff. I've listened to it over and over again. It's fantastic. Go check their stuff out. Even their new single, More, is just a catchy piece of work, man. Excellent type of stuff. I'm trying to familiarize myself with the earlier albums, the first two or whatnot, before I get to the concert, so I can just keep a certain depth of the catalog in my head. So I'm listening to that stuff here and there and kind of get into other things. I've been watching a whole bunch of stuff with them. Interviews, Instagram stuff, just like they're so interactive with the fans, so appreciative. There's so much personality between the three of them, and just so much love. It's just great to see. They've got a family dynamic, but also have a working dynamic. They kind of separate that type of stuff and kind of still be there as sisters, despite maybe having conflicts about developing the music here and there. But it's like, they're awesome type of stuff. And they did tour with Plush, who I saw last month. They toured with them around May or whatnot, but they didn't have any Midwest dates. So I was kind of hemming and hawing about the time when they were doing that whole thing. And then Plush had the suburban Chicago date last month. Then The Warning announced one in Chicago for this month. And I grabbed my ticket and stuff like that. So they're playing a place called Bottom Lounge, which I've never been to, but it looks pretty nice. Looks pretty nice off of Lake Street. So I'm going there next Saturday. I'm going to have the best fucking time. I'm just amped up because they're one of the best bands out there. Just like, I love this entire thing. Again, Plush and The Warning, they've really kind of fused themselves together to a certain degree. I know Mariah Formica from Plush and Danny from The Warning, they met each other at like a festival last year. There's a nice photo of it. And the fact that they're really kind of interconnected to a certain degree. They're really much supporting one another. And this all-female rock movement to such a degree is a fantastic thing to see. Just seeing that representation so well in a brand new generation of women who have taken all these influences and stuff like that and kind of fused them together with their own sound and styles and stuff like that. And they've come up with a great level of maturity and be able to handle the business and how to handle themselves as musicians and bring everything together. It's just a wonderful and inspiring type of thing. I think both bands are fantastic, so definitely check things out. And with the Plush stuff, I did on my own personal YouTube channel, plus the Facebook page and Twitter and Instagram, but mainly the YouTube stuff. I uploaded at least 2 full songs I shot at the Plush concert in 4K with some enhanced audio. So I did the ones for, I think it was Athena and Hate, 2 songs off the first album. So you can go check that out on my personal YouTube channel, which will be a link in the description below. And plus, since the concert, I did start compiling an entire playlist of concert videos and interviews and official music videos and stuff like that for that band. So you can definitely check that out if you're interested in them as well. So I got over 75 videos in there because I keep getting stuff in the YouTube recommendation. So it's like click on it and add it to the playlist and stuff like that. I haven't watched most of them, but most of the interviews I've watched. Not as many of the live videos, but here and there and everywhere, I'm just kind of shooting things here and there. And there were a lot of videos taken from the same concert I was at. So definitely check that stuff out, guys. You'll be able to see a lot of stuff I saw and experienced on the whole thing. So wonderful type of stuff in that regard. And HEMI had a recent show that I shot for them and stuff like that. Plus, there was a little very special occasion at the end of the entire show, but we haven't released the video for that yet. But they posted stuff about the event and whatnot on Instagram and stuff like that, so you go check that out. But once they actually decide to release the videos I shot, I'll circulate them as well on my social media so you guys can know about that. But it was a really special occasion, and it was a really fantastic type of thing. And plus, they've got a 20th anniversary show coming up in late September that I should also be attending and shooting video for at Liars Club in Chicago. So, place they haven't been to before, but they're definitely playing a very big occasion for that whole thing, with some regular bands that they are friends with and stuff like that, performed with before. So that'd be some good stuff. So all these interesting type of things, and again to more things in a short time here or whatnot. But I don't really have any like regular media pickups because Steve has my copy of Scream 6, the 4K I grabbed up because he needed to watch it. He grabbed it when we did the commentaries past Sunday, and he went off and watched it right away. And then he's out of town right now doing stuff for work and whatnot. So I'll get that back. But I'm planning to do a Scream franchise rewatch, and I'll just watch my digital copy of Scream 6 and stuff like that, but I saw it in the theater, so it's just going to be a quick rewatch in that regard. But anyway, like that, so I plan to do a rewatch of the whole franchise getting up to that, so I can get a full context discussion of what I want to talk about in the whole thing, so anything like that. But one other thing I really picked up whatnot is a couple of CDs, and I actually finished off my Van Hagar CD collection here, Sammy Hagar and Van Halen, because I did have 5150 and OU 812, the two 80s albums with Hagar, but I was looking around. It was when I was picking up the Blu-ray for the Thing prequel or whatnot. I was kind of like, well, I'm buying this thing. It's like I'm like, it's not super satisfying just to buy that. I was like him and hawing about certain things. Like, yeah, let me pick up Balance, because like song Feelin' closes out the album. I think it closes out the album. It's a really, really excellent track. Good stuff in that thing. So I really wanted to grab that because that song is a little bit in my head. But then after I got that, I realized, wait a minute, there is only just one more Hagar album. I thought there was more than that. But it's like, okay, after I actually shot the video for the Thing prequel, it's like, okay, I need to go grab myself a reward for this. Because I was having, I don't know, I might get up too late the night before to do it. I think I was having problems getting up to the whole thing the night before. I think I shot maybe half of it. Then I shot another half of it on the next Sunday. It's like, I got to get myself a reward. So I went off and actually bought the For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge thing, which has Pound Cake and Right Now and Run Around and all the type of stuff. Top of the World. Excellent track. Excellent album. Top to bottom, inside and out. I listened to the whole damn thing. It's incredible. Just like, you gotta get some of that Van Halen fucking tone, that guitar sound, all that type of stuff. And I also give so much credit to Alex Van Halen. He's one of the best drummers possible. Just like the tightness of his sound and whatnot. He's so crisp and stuff like that. He's a fantastic drummer. People don't talk enough about Alex. I talk about him a lot. I think he's just a fantastic, amazing fucking drummer. Brought a complete, just full-bodied sound to the drums, the percussion, all that type of stuff. All that type of stuff. Fantastic. Just the entire sound is wonderful. Me and Steve are marked for Hagar, the entire Hagar thing. And plus I've got the Best of Volume 1, which has Humans Being from the Twister soundtrack. So I've got all the Hagar. Because they never, after the 90s, they did not record anything else with Hagar, just Roth. So, unfortunate thing in that regard. And even on YouTube, I don't think they've released any of the Hagar music videos. You kind of find it from like other people uploading the stuff. I've actually got the DVD of the greatest hits type of thing, which doesn't have all the music videos, but has a good amount of them. But anything like that, so there's that type of stuff, and just talking about other stuff coming up here and whatnot, because I have to get up to the entire Exorcist research and whatnot I'm going to do, because the 4K is coming out in the U.S. on September 19th, 9/19 I think it is. As I said, the Blu-ray news update. The 4K is not going to have anything on the disc except for the commentaries. Everything else is just going to be off the digital copy you get, which will include the stuff from the 40th anniversary release that I don't have. So at least be able to watch that type of stuff, but I won't be able to rip anything for the video and whatnot. So I'll still have just the original Digibook Exorcist Blu-ray set, which gives me enough or whatnot. But I do want to wait till the 4K comes out, because there's some talk or whatnot, discussion or whatnot about how some of the color grading for the original theatrical version has not been maintained over the years. So we're going to see one way or another if they kind of restore that back to the way it was pre-98. So you'd either have to get like the 1997 DVD or like some of the like the Laserdisc from the 90s, more particularly, stuff here and there. So it's a little uncertain and whatnot. It's supposed to not be exactly the way it's been seen over the last like 25 years or whatnot. So I might have to grab up that 97 DVD or something else like that just to have it in my back pocket so I can kind of reference the footage and see how that works out with discuss the entire film. Not having great luck kind of locating, at least maybe not at a great price. It's a little scarce to come by, but I'll keep my eye open. I've got at least another month or so before I can have to start getting footage together and stuff like that. I might not do the audiobook for the original Exorcist because I don't think it's quite as necessary, and I might not have the time for it. Because in terms of, I'll get the Star Wars stuff soon, but I would kind of waned off the fucking audiobook train on the Star Wars stuff. I can't get through it anymore. I will definitely do the audiobook on Legion because, one, I already bought it, and two, the fact is, because with Exorcist 3, so much got kind of muddied or whatnot in terms of like the adaptation from the novel into the film, and then the studio kind of did some interference on him, which creates the theatrical version, but then we have the Legion cut, which is approximation, close as it possibly can, from existing materials of what Blatty intended for the film, and I want to get more context about what his intentions were, and that way to do that is to go back to the book, and like I said, in recent times and whatnot, they produced an audiobook just a few years ago of it, so I will definitely cover the audiobook of Legion coming up to the research for Exorcist 3 video, but for the original Exorcist, it might just be me covering everything that's on the Blu-rays and stuff like that with the Fear of God documentary and all the other stuff. Just get a full overview of the entire film and move on from there. So if I have the time for it, I might delve into it. I just have to see my management of time getting up to it. So I won't be shooting the video before the 4K hits, so sometime after that, just so I have that, so I can watch those versions and just watch the best, highest resolution version, see how things go off in that regard. Probably definitely ripping most of the footage from the existing Blu-rays and stuff like that. So a lot of stuff to get up into. So I have to check out that TV version of The Thing, see how that works for a new retro video series type of thing. Also, again, like I said, the Star Wars Special Edition Trilogy thing, which I've been talking about here and there and everywhere for a very long time. I don't know when it's going to happen. I'm thinking earliest is November now. I know that's a lot further out than I wanted to do, but I still haven't gotten Return of the Jedi captured from the Laserdisc. I've kind of lost a little bit of the spark going through this Thrawn Trilogy audiobook series. Because, I got the first two done. I was excited for things, then I got into the third one. Not a fault of the quality of the third book. I've got too many things going off in different directions. I've stopped even reading comics. I haven't caught up on stuff I bought months ago. So my time's a little splintered too much here and there, so I just haven't been able to devote that kind of time to the whole thing. So I just kind of lost a little bit of the spark for it. So I'm like, I don't know, 3 or so hours into the fucking audiobook, and I just let me get the exact. I'm 4 hours in the audiobook, and it runs over 15 and a half hours. So it's I'm just not getting there anytime soon. So I just got to take I think I'm just going to take a break from that, off the Audible stuff. I don't even have a subscription. I bought these off of this service a while ago. So I just got to get up, kind of get to the point where I re-energize my Star Wars fandom. So I get all this other stuff done, and I'll kind of transition back to Star Wars when I get the feeling back to it and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff to do in the background in between videos and stuff like that. They're going to slowly build up. And it's stop one video and then take 3 or 4 weeks to plan and research and pre-production wise, do a bunch of stuff. So I kind of slip little things in here and there to kind of okay, I'll capture a Laserdisc at this point in time while I'm trying to work on this other video, and I got a downtime here and there, or I don't feel very energetic today to kind of work on this, that, and the other thing, so I'll just sit back and let the damn Laserdisc player and the computer do all the work, and I just watch whatever in between that type of stuff. So little things that kind of squeeze in here and there to kind of slowly move the thing forward here and there. So I haven't done that in a while. So I definitely should find some time when I have some downtime to throw in the Return of the Jedi Special Edition lasers and just capture that at a point in time and get that going. And of course, there's also the numerous versions of Blade Runner, which requires me to watch like 5 different, maybe 4 different versions of the entire film. So that's very time consuming to watch all the things, put notes together, do some comparisons. And of course, I got to rip all that stuff off the disc. I got to rip all this shit. And, so it's a lot of work, and like I've only got so much storage space, so I can't just like put everything on there at the same point in time to do like 4 months of like video pre-production type of stuff to pile it on there. So I'd like to upgrade and whatnot to a couple bigger drives and whatnot, but there's only a certain amount of money I have, and things aren't too lucrative on the YouTube platforms or whatnot. A short thing is like, okay, back in 2021, I got up to getting that $100 threshold payout every single month, but ever since the beginning of last year, things have dwindled. Now it's down to maybe 2 to 3 months I get a payout. So things aren't great on that thing, and be upfront on and stuff like that with Patreon. I've been pushing Patreon for a long, long time. I've been on there for 10 years, and it's never really got much traction either. So I don't really get a whole lot of dollars off of that. So I don't have a lot of stuff to port back into all the stuff I need to on the channel for the software, the hardware type of stuff. So it's a lot of expensive stuff that I do need to upgrade at some point in time, definitely sooner than later, because my OS is a Mojave on this thing, which is like 4 years out of date. I need to get up on the new stuff sooner than later, but that requires me to upgrade a lot of software and then get new hardware so I can still continue to capture analog video, because apparently the capture device that you're able to do off of Mojave don't fucking work anymore. So I've got to get something that's like an HD capture device and like an analog converter. It's a lot of other stuff. So it's a lot of stuff. So stuff like that. There's always a super thanks feature if you find anything very special on this channel that you really want to throw some money at. That helps out too. So I do get a fair amount of cut from that, because one of the followers, good friend or whatnot, Bert, he does that every so often, and I very much appreciate that type of stuff. So that really helps out a lot around here. So guys, I think that's quite long enough. I think that's about everything I need to cover here. Like I said, before I get to actually producing and releasing the Exorcist thing, there's some other holes to fill up in the schedule. Of course, we've got the UHF commentary coming up soon. We recorded that as well, the Weird Al Yankovic parody film. It's a really fun time. We had a really fun time getting this entire commentary done, because it's all the pop culture type of stuff, the relevancy of Weird Al and stuff like that, interesting careers of everyone involved in the entire film, and the wacky type of gags and stuff like that. It was just a really fun time. If you like some of the wackier commentaries we've done, this is really much in that vein, but it's very much very celebratory. It's a very praise-heavy type of thing. So we thought the world of this entire film, and still really held up very well. So hopefully you'll join us for that in a few weeks. And so, like I said, we're going to be doing Scream 6 the following month, September. And we'll be getting up to Day of the Dead. So I have to watch that from Steve's Blu-ray, get up on that, and then do the Scream rewatch and stuff like that, get up on that. Then we got some really strong stuff coming up in October and November. And we're just about putting together something for December. I haven't really settled on like a seasonal, festive Christmas movie, but we do have something that's being released as an anniversary commentary, potentially. Steve's doing a little work on doing some rewatches or whatnot to get up on this entire thing. But something that struck me over the last week is like, that is coming up. That is a very particular anniversary date for a film that was released in December, right around Christmas. This could be a nice one. This is, once we settle things down a little bit more, lock it down a little further, Steve's watch it again, get some feelings for it. But I think we've got something really special coming up for that month or whatnot. But that's a long way away. So guys, once we get closer to those dates, I'll talk a little bit more on that front. But we do have some more John Carpenter proper films coming up in that spooky season, stuff like that. So guys, thanks so much. I'm glad my voice mostly held up. It's a lot better than it was earlier. So it's a little, maybe a tad, a little off here and there, but I definitely was able to go through this thing 100% in one shot and not take a break or whatnot. So much better than the last one I tried. So definitely, guys. So let me know what you're excited about coming up on the channel. If you saw last Voyage of the Demeter, let me know how you felt. Let me know how you felt about it, and if you're going to go check it out, if you're very much interested in it, or well, here and there and everywhere. Because, like I said, it's box office isn't looking rosy or whatnot. Maybe internationally, because they are marketing it a little bit differently. Internationally, they're actually putting the name of Dracula into the title instead of trying to like being more poetic or artistic or whatnot with the title here in the U.S. So maybe if some of these other regions or whatnot, Europe and Mexico and some places like that, they're kind of altering the title. They can really drive home this is Dracula film here. So maybe they'll play better elsewhere or whatnot. Maybe different audiences from different cultures or different markets will have a better reaction to it, and maybe we'll catch on better over there. But it's unknown if it's going to be released in the UK theatrically. It hasn't been released there yet, because I was looking at Mark Kermode's channel, because he always does the reviews and whatnot every single week, and there was no review for the entire film, so I saw there wasn't any news about that. So maybe it might go direct to streaming or whatnot, or hopefully not. Maybe Universal will find someone out there, or they'll handle it themselves. I think they recently lost like a distribution partner over in the UK or whatnot, which caused some problems or whatnot. So complicated, but definitely check it out. See where it is coming up in the release dates in your territory or something else like that. So again, I think it's really good. If you really like a good slow burn sort of Alien-esque, but it's with Dracula on a sailing ship, and it's a really fantastic, amazing freaking performances. I definitely think it's worth your while, guys. So go for it or whatnot. So guys, thanks so much for joining me, and always, like I say, comment, like, subscribe, share things around. All this stuff helps make the channel healthy and lets people get in on the action here, enjoy the conversations, and be engaged with everything here. So me and Steve really much appreciate that whole thing. So thanks so much, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.